Hello guys, this is the BobSlop here, and I'm going to talk about the build I've been working on the last few days, and it is a Tri-Totem crit-based Dark Pact build. And the way I get my third totem is by using this chest called SoulMantle Spider Silk Robe, and it just allows you to have one extra totem and gives you some other benefits, as you can see. But it has the downside of you get cursed every time your totem dies, or is resummoned after the third one is down. So the way I counter this is by having two Kikazarus, which reduces the curses on yourself by 40% each, so 80% if you have two. And then since I'm a Scion, I go for the Guardian Ascendancy in there to get an additional 25% effect of curses reduced. So, which means this goes up to 105%, and which negates all the effect of the curses that you can receive on yourself. And then I use the self-flagellation jewel to get a 20% increased damage boost for every curses that I have myself. And because I am using the SoulMantle, the curses that you receive from the chest, the effect of the chest, like every time a totem dies, you can bypass the cap of one curses or two curses if you use self-flagellation to an infinite amount. You can, because, well, like you can have like every curses in the game pretty much. So this is the base of the build. Now let's pass on something else. Okay, let's start talking about leveling. So the first thing you want to do is, if you want a really easy leveling process, and you probably want to buy every single item that I'm going to list. So the first one is Life Sprig. While not necessary, it makes your leveling to 1 to 12 much faster. And the second one is a Frozen Trail. Same deal with Life Sprig, you don't have to have it, it just makes your leveling process to 1 to 12 much better. And Frozen Trail, you just socket it right there, because you just start and it's like you get it pretty much right off the bat. And then you probably want a Tabula Rasa. I mean, it's just like one of the best leveling uniques you can ever get. It's not even that expensive right now either. So, though, yeah, this one is probably like the biggest one, the Tabula Rasa, but you might not have like the 10C or 12C it costs. So I mean, even if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. The other one is Dusto, because it helps a lot when you just swap to Dark Pact. It adds the chaos damage to spell, which is pretty big, and also gives you pretty good stun and block recovery, which is also pretty big. And then the chaos resistances that helps a lot in some of the acts. So, and then as soon as you hit the level 12, you want to switch to Sunder, and you want to have these weapons. You want to have Gorebreaker and the Princess, and then once you hit level 20, you switch off Gorebreaker to Brightbeak. And then with that, you can go up to level 28 or 31, whichever you feel more comfortable with, and you can switch Dark Pact Totem. Make sure you equip your two Kikazarus that you should have already bought before at level 20, and then make sure you buy a Aided Chaos at level 31 so that you can use it with Dark Pact. Dark Pact at level 28 is not that great. It becomes pretty good once you get added chaos in, but before that it's kind of not very good. You should also buy a quality Dark Pact because it's increased area of effect, which is very good. And then you want to buy self-flagellation for later. You want like a 18+% increased damage roll on it. And then you want to buy a SoulMantle. And if you have the money, you can buy the 5-link prophecy and just use it on it. So you have a 5-link. The 5-link is actually pretty big, so I would recommend doing that if you have the 30C that it costs for it. And at 36, you probably want to buy this helmet. This helmet costs like 1 chaos, and it's really good. It's life, mana, all resist, so it's all around a really good helmet. So while leveling, what you want to do for your general pathing is you start off right here, then you just go and then you grab Constitution right away. Then you go all the way up here and grab Devotion, and then you want to go up here and grab Discipline and Training. And then after that, you want to start grabbing these Totems node so that you're ready to pick up Ancestral Bond. And then you want to grab these Totem node. And then once you hit 28, you can spec for that, or you can wait for 31 if you prefer that way, because 28, your Dark Pact is not going to be that great. And then after that, you pretty much just want to go into Witch, grab Mind Over Matter, all the life node, and then you don't want to spec into any crit nodes until you're up to level something like 70 or 80. So you just want to grab life nodes. You're going to be really tanky, and Kikazurus makes your leveling process super smooth. So I'll show some clip of me killing some bosses with pretty much the sap I told you, like Tabula Rasa, Dusto, Brightbeak with some Kikazurus, and didn't have the SoulMantle chest yet, but once you get the SoulMantle chest, you start wrecking stuff. As you can see, the damage in these clips is not very high, but you have pretty good sustain with double Kikazuru, and your damage is good enough to just do them safely and at a good enough pace. So the first thing you really want to do when you do any kind of bosses is have a 4-link Wither setup, which is Wither, faster casting, Arcane Surge, and increased duration. Make sure you have these when you do bosses, or else your single target is gonna feel really bad. So the way I did my leveling progression was that I rush Chamber of Innocence, I farmed there until 49, and then at 49 you can start using SoulMantle chests, which makes you pretty big, and then after that you want to progress all the way through to Oasis in Act 9, and then after that point you want to grind up to level 73 or 70, and then you want to buy all your gear to progress all the way through to Kitava. Make sure you buy your gear to make up to 105 total resistance before you kill Kitava, because Kitava reduces the resistances by 30%, and then you don't need to be having more resistances than 75% total because curses don't affect. Let's talk about the labyrinth stuff while leveling. The normal lab is not very important to rush because it only gives you 1 skill point and a few stats, but you want to go towards the Guardian Ascendancy because you're going to get the 25% reduced curse effectiveness, and then you're not going to have to worry about your resistances because of SoulMantle cursing you. You want to do the Krill lab as soon as you can because you get the Guardian Ascendancy, like I said, and it's pretty important, so you really want to do it around level 55 to 60, but make sure you're comfortable with it and don't rush with it, just don't die to it. Here I'm going to showcase the build a little bit in a shape channel map, so tier 8. This is just me shield charging around and placing totem. As you can see, the coverage of the totem is pretty big because you have 3 totems. You can constantly put them down and not worry about recasting a totem and then making it so your last totem stops casting because you kill it by replacing another totem. So it's pretty, having a 3rd totem is really helpful to clear the maps. It gives you a lot more coverage, and also boosts your single target by a huge margin since it's pretty much having 50% more damage multiplier. The other thing that helps a lot is Wither. Pretty much carries a lot your single target since it's pretty much, you can get 20 stacks very quick, like probably in like 2 seconds, and then the monster takes 140% more damage. That's a crazy amount. So the way I play this build is pretty much I just shield charge through monster. You get power charge this way because you're an assassin ascendant, and you have a 20% chance to receive a power charge when you hit an enemy on full life. So that's pretty good. So you can constantly keep your power charges up this way. And then once you get to the boss, you want to put your 3 totems down and then cast Wither, but you also have to be careful because your totems are dying at a decent rate because each time they cast, it costs 6% of their life. So be careful with that and make sure they're always up, or else the boss is gonna take a lot longer. Let's talk about your gear and your link setup, because that's where we are now. So the first thing you want to do is try to get a 5-link SoulMantle, because that's your endgame chest, and then you want to link it with Dark Pact, Control Destruction, Avoid Manipulation, Added Chaos, Increased Area of Effect, and then your 6th-link is Increased Critical Strikes. Your 5-link is Increased Area of Effect, and your 4-link is Added Chaos, Control Destruction, Avoid Manipulation, and Dark Pact. Now the other important 4-link in there is the one I mentioned earlier, which is Fast Casting, Increased Duration, Arc and Surge, and Wither. Make sure your Arc and Surge doesn't pass the level 10 mark, and that's pretty much it for the Wither setup. The other one, you want Shield Charge, Fortify, Faster Attacks, and then you want in your boots, well, not necessarily in the boots, but you want Immortal Call, Enfeeble, Increased Duration, and Cast when damage taken as another setup. And then this one is just like a Flame Dash, Fast Casting, and then you have like you can put a Portal Gem in there or something else, I don't know. And then you want your leveled up Clarity, and then you want the Conk effect that you can swap in and back and forth if you need it for a single target. And then you have Decoy Totem that can be useful in some certain situation. And then you have your Stone Golem, which gives you a decent amount of regen. As you can see, my regen is currently at 462 regen, and then when I get hit, I regen an additional 1.5%, which is pretty big. So this is the type of dagger you want. You really want like the 23% plus attack speed, or else you're like too slow. And I actually used Bright Beak until level 90, and the damage was good enough. Even now the damage is good enough with Bright Beak, but I was like, well, I got this dagger, so might as well use it. So yeah. And of course you want 2 Kikazurus, which are a pretty good roll, minus 39 and 36%, and then 14, 15. And then this is the neck that I use for like maps that I don't use Biscos on. This is just like spell damage, crit multi, and then very high life. This is the helmet that I used. It's just very high life, and then the resistances I need. This is the shield I use, cast speed, crit strikes, and then high life, and then some resistances. This is just movement speed, resistances, life. And then the enchant on it, this is the best enchant you can get. When you get hit, you regen 1.5 life and mana per second, which is really good. And then the gloves, just high life, attack speed, and then resistance. This is the best. Then my potions are Bubbling Divine of Staunching, and then Chemist Basalt of Staunching, and then my Quicksilver, just Alchemist of Adrenaline. It's a low roll right now, but I'll probably get a higher roll later on. And then this one is just a Shock Immunity Silver Flask, and this one is a Freeze Immunity Diamond Flask. Also my belt is the Cast Res, and then high life and some resistances. And this is it for the gear. Now for the skill tree. So this is pretty much the skill tree you want to be. So at the beginning you always just want to rush all this side, be done with this, and then once you're done with Uberlab, you get access to this part, which is at the beginning I had the chaos damage here, but then I realized that 12% attack speed is much more valuable to me than the 30% damage you get from this. So I went with the attack speed. And then you go up there, just grab Assassination, and then you're pretty much done with this part. Other than that, this is pretty straightforward. Just don't go crit until way later on. You grab all the life, and then the jewels you want to aim for. Right now I had to go for resistances because my gear was kind of fucked up. But this is kind of the jewels you want to go for, like cast speed while holding shield, life, and then like Attack speed, cast speed is like the very good one. So this is what you really want on Jules, is attack speed and cast speed is the best. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you get your self-flagellation in, and other than that, this is pretty much it for the tree. Now for bandits are pretty straightforward. You either go for Illyra, which makes it so that you don't need as much resistance on gear, which can make you focus more like on attack speed and glove, like crit multi spell damage on neck. Like I have no resist on that thing either. You don't even need the resist on the shield, and you can literally focus more on damage this way. Or you can do for 2 skill point and get more life this way, because if I had 2 skill point, then I would have an additional 8% life right there, and it's pretty good. Then I would be at around like 6.5k life. So it's your own choice. Both Illyra and 2 skill points are fairly good. And now this wraps up the build guide. If you have any question, you can post them in the comment section. I'll answer them gladly. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to watch me on Twitch, I'll be streaming almost every day, dude, until I'm done with PoE. So you can watch me there at BobSlop. I'm out. Peace.